Of course, you can always find us too on your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. Okay, fess up. Who is guilty of watching Hallmark Christmas movies this time of year? I know I have my hand raised. They're so fun to get into and enjoy. So if you've seen a Biltmore Christmas, then you've watched a native Mississippian, and you might not have even known it. But she's joining us today. She's A.K. Benninghofen, and she plays the role of Margaret in Hallmark's A Biltmore Christmas. So hey, A.K.
Hello, how are you?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. And I love this connection because the Hallmark Christmas series is just something that some folks may not fess up to it, but everybody finds themselves at some point during the Christmas season snuggled up warm and just sort of enjoying the heartwarming stories that are those movies of Hallmark. So congratulations on the movie.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I think you're right. People love them. I had no idea just how much until I was in one.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, my mom's probably already seen it 10 times and knows the plot backwards and forwards. Okay, she's going to be so excited that we're getting to talk. But if we haven't seen a Biltmore Christmas, how do you kind of explain it without giving it away and your role as Margaret?
Well, it's a time travel movie, which I think is maybe a first for Hallmark. And it tracks a Hollywood screenwriter named Lucy who is trying to write a remake of a classic Hollywood film that was shot at the Biltmore. And so she flies to the Biltmore to do some research and ends up accidentally time traveling back to the original set of the original movie. And I play Margaret, who is in the current time and kind of discovers what's happened and helps her get away with it, so to speak.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Sidekick.
You did miss out on the period pieces and all the wardrobe and stuff, so that kind of stinks.
I did. That was the saddest part. I got to see all of it, and it was just stunning. But I was very sad not to get to wear some of those fabulous 40s clothing pieces. And the trade-off, though, was that I got to work with Jonathan Frakes, who plays Winston, and the folks who were in the 1940s storyline did not get to work with him. So I guess, it all came out in the wash.
Oh, yeah. And what a fun opportunity as well. I mean, to get to call that a day's of work. I think there are worse things to be done, AK.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you've been in this business, for a while. And I know that even just here recently, you've kind of picked back up your acting chops. You've kind of written and done all the things. So when you look back over the course of your career, kind of what is the wild path that you've taken that's gotten you to these, opportunities now?
Well, it's funny. I took about a 20-year hiatus. I didn't know that it was only a hiatus. I thought I had left the business forever. And my husband and I met in Los Angeles, and when we decided to start a family, we decided to leave all of that behind, and we moved to Asheville, North Carolina, and raised our family here. And now our kids are in high school and college. And very surprisingly, it kind of came back to me. There's a lot that shoots in the Southeast now. So I'm able to stay right here at home in Asheville and audition from here because everything is digital now. So I don't have to actually go anywhere to audition. I can just shoot my audition in my home and send it in over the internet. And then if I book a job, then I'm traveling to Atlanta or Richmond or Wilmington or Nashville. But the majority of an actor's work is auditioning, and I get to do that from home.
Which is really cool. Now, your home, I guess, birthplace would be here in Mississippi. You were born in Tupelo, raised in Indianola, and our film industry is really exploding, okay? So I hope one day it literally brings you back home. Hopefully you'll be able to land something where you can come back to Mississippi and shoot. I think that's really cool. Would be really cool.
I hope so, too.
So what was it like?
I have had a couple auditions for things there, and I had my fingers crossed, but it hasn't worked out yet, but we're hoping so.
Well, we're going to put it out in the ether now. Like, they've heard it on Good Things, so all the fancy producers listen, and so they'll be like, oh, they'll see AK and go, okay, she's a homegirl, we're going to bring her back home. Hey, you never know, but I'll take all the credit for it, though, if it happens for you. That way.
I'll be happy to give it to you.
So what was life like growing up Tupelo and there in the Mississippi Delta?
Well, it's funny you say it that way because I do kind of feel like I have two hometowns. My parents both grew up in Tupelo, so all of my grandparents and extended family lived there. So even though we lived in Indianola and I was raised there, I spent all of my summers and holidays in Tupelo. And so I kind of feel like I have both that I can claim. And, you know, it was great. I love having a small town, and it was one of the reasons that we didn't want to raise kids in Los Angeles. We wanted them to have a place that they called their hometown where they knew everybody and everybody knew them, because that was a real gift. You know, I don't think I realized it when I was in it. I longed for a big city where I could be anonymous and have more things to explore. But then you get older and you realize that you had this whole support system. And now, like, even with this Hallmark movie coming out, so many people, you know, the night that it premiered, I picked up my phone when it ended and I had like 85 texts, and I probably 90% of those were from Mississippi people that I grew up with who are still cheering for me and rooting me on. And I'm not sure that happens for people who grow up in other states.
I totally agree. Oh yeah, we're claiming you. That's, you know, you may not have lived here for a while, but you will always be a Mississippi girl, you know, at heart. So I think that's why we're excited to see that that a Hallmark movie will have someone from, you know, our state in it. Has it premiered yet, or is it already in circulation? That's a Biltmore Christmas.
Yeah, it came out the Sunday of Thanksgiving weekend. That was the 26th. And so it's running throughout the holiday season. It airs again tonight if you have the actual Hallmark channel. But it's also streaming, you know, on demand on a few of the different streaming services. I think the premium versions of Hulu and Paramount Plus and YouTube TV, they all have it running kind of whenever you would like to watch it. So, It'll keep going, I think, maybe through right at the new year. So it's a nice little run.
You've also had some nice runs, too, on other streaming platforms that folks may be familiar with. Staircase and HBO Class of '09 on FX and Hulu, and some others. So if we want to just look up and see what you've been up to, girl, or maybe we've seen you and didn't recognize it, where can we find a collection of your work, or maybe find what some of your other projects have been?
You can look me up on IMDb, the Internet Movie Database. You can follow me on Instagram at AKBNC, and just stay tuned, I would say.
You're also a writer, too, with some published work. So are those like, what kind of writing do you do, AK?
I write fiction mostly. I am working on a screenplay right now along with my husband, but mostly I've written fiction. I have some short stories that have been published in various literary journals, and I have 2 novels that I'm trying to revise so that hopefully they will be published someday soon as well.
Well, I think your story is a great one, AK, of just recognizing the times sort of have changed. You don't have to give up on dreams, even if you have to put them on pause for a couple of years to put other things that are more, you know, important first, like family. Who can deny that in that time? You never know what the next chapter of life may be like. Could you have thought that, you know, 20 or so years ago that here you would be back, Hallmark movies, HBO, sort of all the things?
I never dreamed. I really thought I had closed the door on that chapter of my life, and it was COVID that kind of woke me up to it again. My husband and I both are actors, and we both kind of dipped our toe back in just from here, just kind of for fun. And then the next thing we knew, we were working professionally again, and it's been the greatest surprise of our lives. I'm so grateful every moment.
Well, keep auditioning for roles in Mississippi. We're going to keep that doorway open. And if or when you land at AK, then you have to call back and let us know. And then if you're in the area, you'll have to come in the studio and say hi.
Absolutely. I would love to. Thank you so much, Rebecca. All
righty, and that's Hallmark's A Biltmore Christmas, where you can catch AK Benninghofen. She is playing the role of Margaret, and you can catch it on the Hallmark channel or streaming on the app, correct?
That's correct.
I got it. All right, girl. Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Rebecca. Take care.
All righty. There you go. You never know. Just because you have to press pause on a passion or something that you enjoy doesn't mean that you won't be able to pick that back up in a couple years. So never say never in the terms of where your life can take you or the twists and sort of turns in that way. Also, too, I think that reminds those that are sort of interested in that. You can do all your auditioning now from your computer or from your home. So what's stopping you if that's something you've always been interested in? Who knows? It may be you who's on the next Hallmark movie or on a big screen or whatever it may be. What are they gonna say? No, thank you, or just not call you back? That's fine. But what if they said yes? Then you may get scared and delete the email and act like it never happened. That might be me. But no, seriously, give it a try if that's what you're into. But stick with us. We got more for you coming up next.